Hello and welcome back to the Rekt Capital channel. Welcome to today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are in the world. The best thing about crypto is that it brings people together from all walks of life, from all around the world. So welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about Dogecoin and how it has a unique quality in its price action to be the metronome and heartbeat for altcoin seasons. And this video today is going to be a very good introduction to my webinar tomorrow about altcoin hype cycles, because Dogecoin is very intricately linked with altcoin seasons, and at the same time these altcoin seasons occur in cycles, and I just call these cycles hype cycles because they are essentially buying the rumor and selling the hype, selling the actual news. So I'm very excited about tomorrow's webinar, Altcoin Hype Cycles, February 20th, Thursday, 7 p.m. UTC. There is a pre-order discount going on right now, so you can definitely make the most of that pre-order discount by clicking in the link in the description down below. It's the first link to the Altcoin Hype Cycle webinar. If the webinar from a few weeks back is anything to go on, people who attended the webinar last time really enjoyed it. We had lots of engagement, loads of good questions, so it's going to be a good opportunity not only to ask questions and learn about these altcoin hype cycles in more detail, but also see what I'm going to be talking about, because I'm going to be sharing my personal research about how I'm going to be playing this coming altcoin hype cycle and the hype cycles after that, because of course altcoin seasons occur in waves, and these waves are separated by certain retraces. So I'm going to be talking about that in tomorrow's webinar. Check out the link in the description down below for your pre-order discount and reserve your spot today, and I'll see you tomorrow in the webinar, 7 p.m. UTC. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a really good session. But let's dive into today's video. Today's video is going to be a very good introduction to the altcoin hype cycle webinar, and it will become apparent why. So let's dive in and let's talk about how Dogecoin is the metronome and the heartbeat for altcoin seasons. So right over here we have a Dogecoin to Bitcoin chart. It's the weekly chart for Dogecoin, and I just wanted to lay this chart bare just to show the cyclicity that we see in Dogecoin's price action. And it's a very unique coin in that sense, because there are very few coins which occur in very cyclical, they have price behavior that is very cyclical. So you see that it goes down, it goes up, down, up, and down, and so on. So it cycles. It has this recurring cyclicity to it that you can't really say about a lot of coins. One coin that has that cyclicity, that cyclical quality, is Litecoin BTC. And I spoke about Litecoin BTC in a lot more detail. I shared my in-depth TA on it in this video in the top right hand corner, so check it out because it's one of the altcoins I'm most bullish on in 2020. But having said that, we have a lot of cyclicity in Litecoin's price action. It always goes to the same level and rallies to approximately the same level as well. So that's going to be in my previous video, but in this video I just wanted to introduce Dogecoin as a cyclical coin, because you can see the cyclicity occurring every now and then, rallying from the same level to approximately the same level. So let's have a look at my TA on Dogecoin, and I'm going to explain this cyclicity in much more detail. And I'm also going to talk about what this cyclicity means for altcoin seasons. So if we look at Dogecoin on the weekly chart against the BTC pairing, we can see that it always rallies from this region right over here. This tends to be a historical accumulation zone for Dogecoin, and we've seen many different market cycles from this level on many different occasions. Now, these market cycles, of course, don't always start from the green region, but whenever they start from the green region, we always see price revisit at least this region right over here. So this is the predominant historical demand zone, and this is the predominant historical supply zone for Doge. So whenever we look at this first cycle right over here, it taps into that pool of liquidity right over here, this historical accumulation zone, and rallies towards the supply zone. Of course, these are the FOMO wicks, which just show that loads of people who FOMO'd past this supply zone got caught out because price got rejected and then tumbled down. But of course, this is the supply zone that we see. So this is going to be the first cycle for Dogecoin. And after that, we saw a retrace. We didn't quite see a return to the historical accumulation zone. So this is a sort of half cycle. And as we progress in analyzing this chart together, we're going to notice that we have a few different types of cycles for Dogecoin. So this is going to be the complete market cycle. It rallies from green to red, from demand zone to supply zone, and we're going to see these half cycles as well. And I just call them half cycles because they're just incomplete cycles. We don't see them return to green and then rally to red, but we see them rally to red but not return to green, and so forth. So these are going to be half cycles. And this is yet another half cycle for Dogecoin, because even though we don't revisit that green zone, it's quite close to it, but we do see a rally towards the upside into this supply zone, and the FOMOers carry and prolong this exponential uptrend all the way to the next supply zone, which is more extreme. And we need to bear in mind that this supply zone is the more extreme one. So if we want Dogecoin, or we hypothesize that Dogecoin could potentially reach this extreme supply zone, we have to bear in mind that Dogecoin only reached this level on 3 separate occasions. And the first occasion was a dump upon listing. So that really doesn't count. And then we saw a wick here, and then we saw the largest rally right over here. So essentially speaking, this extreme supply zone has only been revisited twice. So it's not a sell side target to really bank on, in my opinion, because it is a more low probability event. That's what I really want to stress. But of course, this is the largest ever cycle for Doge, and it is the complete one as well. It's a complete one because this one was from green to red. This one is also from green to red. And as you can see, we are seeing another complete cycle for Doge from here to here as well. So we have 1, 2, 3 complete cycles for Doge, and we have 1, 2, and 3 complete cycles, or at least half cycles. So we have incomplete cycles. So essentially speaking, 3 complete cycles for Doge and 3 incomplete cycles for Doge. Of course, whenever thinking about Dogecoin, it's important to know that it really behaves within a range. The cyclicity, the cyclical characteristic that Dogecoin has in its price action occurs within a range. So this is essentially the range low. This is going to be the midpoint of that range, so it's the mid-range. In other words, known as the equilibrium, because this is where we see equilibrium in the range, and depending on where price is. So if price is above this equilibrium point, then we're going to see price reside within the top half of the range. But if we see price dip below the equilibrium point, the midpoint of this range, we see price reside in the bottom half of this range. So this is essentially the range low, the mid-range, the equilibrium point, and the range high. And of course, this is the low probability extreme supply zone. This is something that's very unlikely to see. This is something that's really unlikely to occur in the future. But of course, low probability events have that quality that they have asymmetrical returns. So if it does happen as investors in Dogecoin, we're gonna probably get an asymmetrical payoff. But let's summarize: 6 cycles in total, 3 complete ones and 3 incomplete ones. And of course, you see these rallies towards the equilibrium point, but we never see that cycle really take off. This equilibrium point just tends to figure as a resistance. So we see that on a few occasions, really. And it's only on this occasion where we see price breach that equilibrium point only very briefly before returning to the downside. So we know about the historical cycles of Dogecoin, and of course we're seeing a cycle in the making right now. We haven't revisited this historical level of demand, but we are seeing an ascending triangle in the works. And the thing with an ascending triangle is that we're seeing a higher low forming. So we are seeing resistance at this region right over here. So that's the top of the ascending triangle. And this higher low showcases to us that people are buying Doge at a premium. So they were happy to buy at around this level before, but now every time Doge dips, people buy at a higher level. So that's the premium buying that we're seeing, and is evidenced in this higher low behavior. So simply speaking, this uptrend line is just evidence of a psychology that's emerging in Dogecoin's price action and among Dogecoin's investors. In any case, the most important thing to bear in mind is that this is the ascending triangle and we are having a cycle in the making. So let's keep this ascending triangle in mind because it's going to come in handy later on. So let's move on to the weekly chart for the altcoin market cap. So this is essentially the market capitalization for all altcoins. Whenever we see altcoin market cap go towards the upside, that means that altcoins, generally speaking, are increasing in their valuations. If we're seeing market cap go to the downside, then we're seeing altcoins shedding a lot of their valuations. But to build upon this further, every time we see altcoin market cap increase, the same can be said for altcoin dominance in the market, because of course if altcoins are increasing in their valuations, they are also gaining market dominance on Bitcoin. So during this time, Bitcoin tends to consolidate or lose value, but very gradually, so that people are able to buy altcoins. So whenever Bitcoin is losing value gradually, that means people are selling Bitcoin slowly but surely and taking a more risk-seeking approach to buy altcoins. And this is what propels altcoins to higher levels of market dominance and a higher market cap in general. So just to make this a little bit more clearer, just to visualize that, this increase in altcoin market cap means that during this time, Bitcoin probably consolidated, so people were more likely to buy altcoins. Bitcoin probably dipped during this time, so that means people were selling Bitcoin gradually and buying altcoins. So essentially speaking, this is where altcoin dominance is increasing and altcoin market cap is increasing. So remember, this is an altcoin market cap weekly chart, just showing to us when altcoins are increasing and when they are decreasing. So now that we have that psychology out of the way, these green bars essentially showcase to us the cycles that Doge has. So whenever we cycle back, this is going to be the complete cycle, this is going to be the first incomplete cycle, full cycle, and incomplete cycle. So I've highlighted all of these cycles right over here under altcoin market cap, because this is going to give us an idea as to how Dogecoin really is the metronome and the heartbeat for altcoin seasons. Because whenever we see altcoin market cap increase, this is also when we see altcoin seasons occur. And of course, these altcoin seasons can differ in magnitude, right? Because you can see a small increase, relatively speaking, a small increase right over here, but this is still an altcoin season. You know, this is a smaller increase in market cap, in altcoin market cap, compared to this one. So this one is obviously going to be a very strong altcoin season. And of course, this is the altcoin season from December 2017, which is interesting because even though this altcoin market cap increase was much smaller than the increase over here, really. But we have to bear in mind that these increases right over here were absolutely euphoric. This was the end of the altcoin market cap, the altcoin market cycle. So in other words, this might have been a strong increase in altcoin market cap, but we actually saw stronger rallies and euphoria in the market, in the altcoin market, even though the magnitude of this altcoin market cap increase was much smaller than right over here. But that's a small digression because I want to focus on Dogecoin market cycles against altcoin market cap. So this is going to be the first cycle for Dogecoin, and this is going to be the second incomplete cycle for Dogecoin. And of course, I'm trying to just demark these in different ways. So this is going to be a full cycle. This smaller green box is going to be a half cycle, a full cycle, right? So basically speaking, these boxes are bigger for the complete cycles and smaller for the incomplete cycles. So this is of course a complete cycle as well, and this is a half cycle. So if we just look back very quickly to Doge's cyclicity in its price action, this is going to be a complete cycle, half cycle, complete cycle, and half cycle. And this is what we're seeing right over here. So, and what I really want you guys to focus on is that this market cycle for Doge predicted, or at least foreshadowed, the beginning of an altcoin season for altcoins. So this was the beginning of an altcoin season right over here, and we saw an increase in altcoin market cap, and then Doge topped around this level. So in this particular market cycle, we saw that Doge predicted the bottom and the top for that particular altcoin season before a drop occurred in the altcoin market cap. So essentially, we saw altcoins shedding valuations during that time. The same can be roughly said here. Dogecoin started to rally when we saw a small decrease in altcoin market cap right over here. We saw a small decrease, but then we saw altcoin market cap go to the upside, and Doge actually foreshadowed an altcoin season for altcoins. So that's the half cycle. In this other half cycle, we also saw that Dogecoin started to rally when altcoins were actually shedding valuation, but then they bottomed out, and then we saw a rise in altcoin valuations across the market. So Dogecoin foreshadowed a beginning of an altcoin season right over here. So what are the recurring themes for Dogecoin? In this market cycle, Dogecoin led altcoins into their altcoin season. In this market cycle, it foreshadowed and led the altcoin season. And in this case as well, it foreshadowed and led the continuation of an altcoin season. So we've essentially covered the first 3 market cycles for Dogecoin, and what we can say from them is that Dogecoin predicts and leads altcoins in their altcoin season. So let's have a look at the next 3 cycles, the complete, and half cycle. So right over here we can see that Dogecoin's involvement is a little bit different, because this is where we see a bottom in the altcoin market cap. So in fact, Dogecoin isn't leading this altcoin season, because we've seen a bottom in the altcoin market cap right over here, and then only afterwards we saw an increase towards the upside. So in this market cycle right over here, so that's going to be this market cycle for Dogecoin. In this market cycle for Dogecoin, essentially speaking, Dogecoin wasn't a leading indicator, it was a guarantee of further continuation for altcoins. So you're seeing how this role for Dogecoin is changing as we progress throughout these market cycles. So in these market cycles, Dogecoin was a leading and predicting indicator for altcoin seasons, whereas over here we're just seeing that Dogecoin is a good indicator for confirming continuation in the altcoin season. And that's quite interesting, because many people herald Dogecoin as the leading indicator and predictor for altcoin seasons, but in fact, if you look at the data, the price history of Dogecoin and how it influences altcoin market cap, it's quite interesting to see that that's partially true, because at the same time it might be a predictor and a leading indicator for altcoins, but that's not always the case, because sometimes it just confirms the continuation. So even though we see that Doge is a predictor and a leading indicator in altcoin seasons in its first 3 market cycles, this isn't the case in this market cycle. It just confirms continuation in the altcoin season uptrend. So it's interesting to see that we can partially debunk that heralded myth about Dogecoin being the metronome of altcoin seasons, because it has been in the 3 market cycles, but over here its role is slightly more nuanced, a little bit different. And of course, this is the next complete cycle for Dogecoin. So if we cycle back, this is the cycle I'm talking about right now. This is also the same thing, because we saw bottoming right over here in the altcoin market cap, and then again over here, but then we saw an increase in altcoin market cap, and Dogecoin just only started rallying. It started its cycle near the end of the cycle, near the end of the market cycle, near the end of the altcoin season. So in fact, Dogecoin confirmed continuation in that cycle, and at the same time, it was able to time the top of that cycle. So that's very interesting, because this is exactly what happened over here. Dogecoin was able to time the top of the altcoin market cap peak and then the top of that altcoin season, in the same way that Dogecoin, essentially speaking, the top of its rally was able to predict the end of the bull market of 2017. So that's quite interesting. Essentially speaking, once Dogecoin rallied to here, to that historical supply zone on this occasion and on this occasion, that's when the altcoin market cap topped out and the altcoin season was over, because then we saw retraces, whether that was a short-term retrace towards the downside or an entire bear market correction like we saw in this case right over here, because of course in this cycle we saw the top for Bitcoin and altcoins and then an extended bear trend. I'm not going to talk too much about this final cycle. This was a half cycle, and this was essentially a relief rally in the altcoin market cap. So we saw a small alt season in this half cycle right over here. So that wasn't an extended bear trend. So this just shows to us that whenever we're in a bull market, and altcoins are also in a bull market, Dogecoin is very good at predicting and leading those altcoins, or confirming continuation in those altcoins, and at the same time sometimes timing the top of those altcoin seasons. But when crypto is in a bear market, then Dogecoin doesn't really have that sort of predictive power, maybe in a very small sense, because this is a small altcoin season for altcoins really, but not much gain in valuation across the altcoin market in general. So this is a sort of outlier, because this is where we saw an extended bear trend for altcoins. So that's about it for that in-depth analysis. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video so far. Please leave a like and of course subscribe for further videos, because this is something that I really like to do on a daily basis. And of course this is an excellent introduction to my webinar tomorrow, where I'll actually share more research about how I'm playing this altcoin season. So feel free to make the most of that pre-order discount in the link down below in the description. Check it out, make the most of that pre-order discount. But let's continue with this video, because we're not just done yet. So let's move on to overlaying Dogecoin BTC on the weekly chart, and overlaying that on the altcoin market cap chart on the weekly chart as well. So essentially speaking, we're just combining these two charts to just make it a little bit clearer. So it does take some getting used to, but essentially speaking, the black line right over here is the altcoin market cap, and right over here we're seeing the cyclicity of Dogecoin's price action, and these green boxes essentially speaking just coincide with the cycle for Dogecoin and for the altcoin market cap. So essentially speaking, this is what we've been speaking about throughout the entire tutorial today, throughout the entire video. And as you can see from this overlay, these conclusions that we've been talking about are very much solidified. They're very much true, because these increases in the market cycles in Dogecoin's price action coincide with increases in altcoin market cap, and coincide with these alt seasons. But at the same time, remember about those key recurring tendencies and those outliers at the same time. So that's something we were talking about in this video as well. But before we finish up, I'd like to talk about this current cycle. So we've spoken about the historical price action, the historical market cycles for Dogecoin, but let's talk about this current cycle. So let's just have a look at this piece of price action for Dogecoin and the altcoin market cap. This is of course the altcoin market cap right over here, and this is the price action of Doge. So during this time of really strong consolidation in the altcoin market cap, we've seen Dogecoin perform maybe half a cycle. Well, it wasn't really a cycle, it was just a sort of retest of the mid-range as a new resistance, essentially speaking, before suffering a downtrend towards the downside. So during this time, Dogecoin wasn't really showing anything. It wasn't really important in terms of altcoin seasons and the altcoin market cap increase. But if we focus on this right over here, then this is an ascending triangle. So where have we seen that ascending triangle before? So if we just focus right over here on the altcoin market cap, we can notice an ascending triangle. So where have we seen an ascending triangle before? On Dogecoin's price action, right over here. So let's cycle back to that overlaid chart. Ascending triangle on altcoin market cap, and ascending triangle on Dogecoin's price action, right? Because this piece of price action is the price action right over here. This is the ascending triangle for Dogecoin. So it's fantastic to see that we're seeing an ascending triangle on Dogecoin's price action mimicking the altcoin market cap right over here. So this altcoin market cap ascending triangle has been formulating since around the end or beginning of 2019 right over here, and Dogecoin is starting to formulate this ascending triangle since around mid-June of 2019. So that's interesting to see, because we're seeing a lot of confluence in this ascending triangle. It's as if Dogecoin has caught up with altcoin market cap and wants to just mimic it, but also lead altcoins for yet another market cycle towards the upside. It wants to lead and predict yet another altcoin season, which is absolutely fantastic to see, because we're seeing this confluence in the ascending triangle here and the ascending triangle here. So both on Dogecoin's price action and the altcoin market cap. And where else do we see an ascending triangle? We see it on Ethereum USD on the weekly chart, ascending triangle in the balance right over here. If we remember, and I've spoken about Ethereum's price action in so much more detail as to why investors are bullish on Ethereum, you can check that video out in the top right hand corner, because this is where I was talking about that weekly macro channel, right? The weekly macro channel from $160 to $360. Of course, the $360 region is around here, right? Because we saw topping out at the 360 and 360 level right over here. So essentially speaking, if you look at that video about Ethereum that I was just mentioning, it will tie in with the fact that if we see a breakout from this ascending triangle and we see a breakout past the 360 level, then we're going to see a massive increase in Ethereum's price action, but also in altcoin price action as well, in the altcoin market cap, in Dogecoin's price action as well, and a general alt season to boot. So essentially speaking, it's fantastic to see this ascending triangle on Ethereum's price action, on Dogecoin's price action. So I'm going to cycle back here, Dogecoin's price action right over here, and the altcoin market cap right over here as well. Fantastic to see that, because we can see that Dogecoin yet again wants to lead, or at least confirm the continuation of a new altcoin season, and we very much are on the cusp of one, with Ethereum approaching this resistance. And once Ethereum breaks this resistance and breaches 360, then we're going to see that altcoin season truly blossom into something really wonderful this new bull market in crypto. And having said that, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Leave a like and of course subscribe for future videos like this in the future. I'm more than happy to provide this sort of content to you guys on a daily basis, as long as you guys find value in it. So please like, please subscribe for future videos, and of course remember that tomorrow is the altcoin hype cycle webinar. This is merely an introduction to what I'm going to be talking about in tomorrow's video, where I'll be sharing my personal research about altcoin hype cycles and how we can make the most of this upcoming altcoin season. I hope to see you in there tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you very soon.